Well, we're here with a really interesting unit from the folks at Arma Laser. The fact that it's a pistol laser sight is not all that unusual or really all that interesting. What really is interesting about this unit is the fact that you don't have to turn a switch on and off when you're ready to use it in a tactical situation. What you have here under the gun is a switch, and when that switch is turned on, the laser unit itself turns on when you touch the metal strip here. You can see the laser is on here. Now that'll stay on for 10 seconds and then it'll turn itself off. Now I can also turn the switch off and that turns it off. It fits on the gun like so, and we'll go ahead and mount it up and show you how this works. I've taken all the screws out but one just to make it a little quicker because you don't want to watch me back screws in and out for 5 minutes on camera. Okay? So let's go ahead and take one out here. Okay, now each one of these holes has a female pin on the back side which actually locates it, and then the screw just holds it captive. So be careful when you turn these over that you don't lose it. Also, it comes without the batteries installed, and I don't want to pick it up here, but you can see the batteries when you lay the right side of the unit down, the positive side, or I'm sorry, the negative side of the battery, the small part should be up. When you're moving this around, you need to be careful here that you don't drop the laser unit out of the left side of the housing here. There is a spring here and a spring underneath from the backside which you can't see, which is the windage spring, and if this drops out, there's instructions on the kit about how to get this back in, and it's not easy, so be careful. Try and keep that in there so it doesn't bounce around. All right. Now, one. Okay, you can see that it's clamped around the grip there, and I've got my fingers against the back here to keep all of those female pins from dropping out. So let's get one screw in here to hold it. I always find it's easier just to use the screwdriver tip by itself when I'm not using, when I don't need a lot of torque and I've got fine threaded screws, rather than to try and horse around the big screwdriver. I suppose if I was at least as coordinated as the average performing dog, it wouldn't be an issue, but that's not the case, so we'll make our own allowances here. Okay, all right, let's turn the switch on. And now some of you are always taught in your tactical classes to keep your finger outside the trigger guard. All right? If you're sitting in a Weaver grip with your finger out of the trigger guard, you're going to need, and you want to turn it on, you just use your off finger and slide it up there and touch it. All you have to do is touch that metal strip, and as you can see, we're on here. Okay? Now if I turn it off and turn it back on, and we go back to the regular finger in the trigger guard mode, all I have to do is slide that finger forward and that laser is on, as you can see. Now keep in mind that your fingernail is not a conductor, so you need to touch it with the flesh, not your fingernail. Now that'll stay on, as I said, for 10 seconds, and if you need at some point to turn it off, then underneath, just turn the switch off. This is a really strong unit. It's very robust. It's made out of the same plastic as the frame of the pistol, and it's not going anywhere. Okay. Now, once you've got that on there, while you're in the shop, make these things easier for you while you're in the field. You'll want to adjust the laser to witness properly in the shop. When you get out in the field later, you can do the final vertical adjustment to get it to hit wherever, on the sights at whatever range you happen to be. But you'll want to put the gun in a vise and look at the iron sights and sight on some object, whether that be on the wall or whether it's a doorknob, but sight it on something. And the farther away the better. If it's on the other side of your shop, or if you can do it out the window, you know, at the range you're going to be shooting at. That makes it even easier, and you only have to do it one time. But in any event, line that up, line up the iron sights, make sure that it's not moving anywhere, and then with the Allen wrench, which they provide, this screw right here adjusts the windage. I'm backing that in and out. You'll move the dot back and forth. The screw on the bottom here adjusts the elevation, and you can bring that up and down. Now, if you're only like 10 feet away from whatever you're sighting on in the shop, I would go ahead and sight this maybe a ½ inch low so that the laser is about a ½ inch below whatever it is you're sighting on. It'll be closer when you get out in the field. Then when you get out there in the field and you're shooting, the only thing you have to do is raise or lower that dot. You've already got it corrected side by side, so you can do that from a rest or however you want. But really a nice unit. I really like this a lot. It's sturdy. It's not going anywhere. It's not obtrusive. You don't have have the laser unit sticking forward in a clamp off the trigger guard there, which just looks hokey, and I'm not a fan of anyway. The more and more holsters are being made for these that come straight forward so that you can use these laser units in a holster, and they're really handy. Now we're going to have fun. Nah, I guess I'm not. Since the gun belongs to Keith, he's probably going to be the one that gets to shoot it in the field, and then when he turns his back, I will too, but we'll go out and give this a shot. Armo laser, nice piece.
We're out at the range with the laser sight on the Glock Model 27 from Armo Laser that Jack showed you about just a few minutes ago. And since he used my Glock to put it on, I get to shoot it. I really like the fact that all you have to do is touch your finger against it and it activates it and you're ready to go. I'm going to do a couple quick shots with the regular sights and then with the laser just so I can compare the two. Alright, those are my shots with the sights. Now we're going to do it with the laser. I'll take it off so I can come back in and be fair about it. Well, I can see where the holes were going and I could see the laser real well. Let's take a closer look at the target. Alright, we brought our target over the shade so you could see it a little better. The morning sun was having fun putting sunlight spots through the holes in the target backer, so you may not have been able to see all these enter. These are the first two shots that I did using the sights, and this gun is very accurate when you're using the sights. However, in a defensive handgun fight, the extra time it takes you to sight is going to be extra time, just that. Then when I took the next shots, Jack mentioned to me that he was watching, and wherever the dot was when the trigger broke, that is where the bullet went in. Now, they're not grouped as tightly as the ones that I used the iron sights on, but you don't have to take the time to line up the iron sights, and these are all in the effective vital area in a self-defense situation, and that's what counts. And that edge you get using the laser, that little extra time, you know that in that kind of a situation, every split second makes a difference. So I was pleased because I have shot the Crimson Trace that is mounted in the grip on Ron's Glock 27, and I couldn't pick it up and right off the bat do this well with it. He has practice with it, and he's very good with it. So I'm very pleased. For a first try, this is great. And that laser dot is going to give you that fast acquisition. And guess what? If you're shooting in a low light situation, you're not going to be able to use your sights unless you've got the tritium night sights or something like that. And still, you've got to take the time to line them up. So this is a lot better, especially if you're shooting out of standard position. And if you're running around your house in the dark, that's probably what's going to be happening. So I definitely give it a thumbs up, and thank you, Jack, for letting me try it.